All right, let's dive into the story of Perplexity AI. We're looking at a company that, by early 2026, finds itself right at the center of a massive battle for the future of the internet. It's a wild story of insane technology, unbelievable amounts of money, and a fight for its very survival.
But to really get what's going on here, we have to start with a huge question. What if your browser wasn't just a passive window for you to look through? What if it could actually become your personal agent, taking your commands and getting things done for you all across the internet? And look, this isn't some sci-fi fantasy. It's the core idea that's powering one of the most disruptive companies in tech today.
So how much is an idea like that worth? Well, as of late 2025, a staggering $20 billion. Just let that number sink in. That's the valuation on Perplexity AI. And a number that big tells you this is way, way more than just another search engine. It's a massive bet on a fundamental change in how we all use the web.
But, an idea this powerful doesn't just get applause. That $20 billion valuation puts a gigantic target on its back. And it's dragged Perplexity into a legal war with one of the biggest players on the planet, Amazon.
So, how on earth did Perplexity get here? Well, it's not just about a new product. This is a massive disruption, and it's built on a whole new philosophy for how the internet should work.
The company is basically betting the farm on what it calls the Agentic Age. See, the information age was all about finding stuff. The Agentic Age? That's about doing stuff. It's the leap from an AI that tells you how to book a flight to an AI that just books it for you. Done.
And wow, is the market responding? I mean, just look at the raw speed of their growth. We are talking about an 800% year-over-year revenue explosion, hitting an annualized run rate of $148 million. This is the kind of hypergrowth that gets investors incredibly excited and makes the old guard legacy players very, very nervous.
Okay, so what's the actual technology driving this whole revolution? At the very heart of Perplexity's strategy is a tool they've built to be their primary weapon in this fight.
It's called Comet, and yeah, it's a standalone browser. But here's the kicker. It's not designed to compete with Chrome on features, it's designed to replace the entire concept. It's not just an answer engine that finds information for you. No, it's an action engine. You could say it has its own metaphorical eyes and hands to navigate the web and get things done.
So, how does this actually work? Well, this is the really controversial part they call agentic commerce. A user gives a super simple command. Buy this for me. Then the Comet agent gets to work. It just goes to the website by itself, figures out where the Add to Cart button is, moves to checkout, and fills in all your payment details from a secure local vault to finish the purchase. And here's the crucial part. To the website, it's designed to look exactly like a human is clicking through the whole process.
Now, when you're trying to fundamentally rewire how the entire internet works, you need more than just cool tech. You need a fortress. So let's look at how Perplexity is using its massive pile of cash and key partnerships to build its defenses. And you can see their financial firepower right here. I mean, look at this jump. From a $500 million valuation in early 2024 to an insane $20 billion just over a year later. And you got to look at who's writing the checks. NVIDIA, of course, a key partner for computing muscle. Cristiano Ronaldo for that mainstream global appeal. And then, in the ultimate irony, Jeff Bezos himself, whose personal investment seems to be completely at odds with the company he founded. They've also been really smart about diversifying how they make money. It's not just about consumer subscriptions. They have high-margin enterprise deals, a major contract with the US federal government, an API for developers, and even this really clever ad unit called Sponsored Questions. It's a serious, multi-pronged financial strategy.
Now this number is absolutely critical for their survival. In early 2026, Perplexity signed this massive $750 million deal with Microsoft Azure. And this isn't just about buying cloud services. This is a strategic lifeline.
And here's exactly why that deal is so important. It reveals this totally bizarre relationship Perplexity has with Amazon. You could call it a state of symbiotic hostility. They're spending millions as a top customer of Amazon Web Services, even as Amazon's retail side is trying to sue them out of business. The Azure deal is their insurance policy. It guarantees that if Amazon ever decides to pull the plug on their AWS servers, Perplexity doesn't just go dark.
Okay, let's move to the main event, the legal battlefield. This is where the future of Perplexity and maybe the whole agentic web is going to be decided. The incumbents are striking back, and they are striking back hard.
The biggest case, of course, is Amazon versus Perplexity. Amazon alleges that Comet's agent is pretty much hacking its marketplace. They claim it spoofs its identity. In other words, it pretends to be a regular Chrome browser to get past their bot detection. But Perplexity's defense is all built around this incredibly powerful idea: user agency. They argue the agent is just a digital employee, acting on the user's direct orders. So the whole thing really boils down to this: if a human is allowed to buy something, shouldn't their authorized software be allowed to do it for them? And it's not just e-commerce. They're fighting another huge battle with news publishers like the New York Times. The NYT's argument is that Perplexity's detailed summaries are basically a substitute product that just eats up their traffic and ad revenue. Perplexity counters that it's a classic case of fair use, that they provide citations back, and that they even offered publishers a revenue-sharing deal, which, well, was rejected in favor of a lawsuit. So, when you put all of this together, the revolutionary tech, the massive valuation, the existential legal threats, you start to realize we are watching the opening shots of a war over the web's next chapter.
And so, Perplexity today exists in this kind of quantum superposition. On one hand, you've got a $20 billion titan deeply connected with the US government and global partners, and on the other hand, you have a defendant in lawsuits that could force it to shut down its core features tomorrow. It is simultaneously winning and on the absolute brink of losing everything. And this leads to two starkly different futures, not just for Perplexity, but for the entire internet. So in the bear case, the courts rule against them. The company gets legally strangled, forced to become just a simple search wrapper, and the internet becomes more fragmented, a series of walled gardens that are closed off to AI agents. But in the bull case, Perplexity wins. It sets a powerful legal precedent that AI agents have the same rights as their users, and it could become the operating system for a new, programmable agentic web.
Which brings us to our final question. This is about so much more than just one company's fate. This is a battle over the fundamental rules of the internet itself. Is the web going to evolve into an open platform for AI agents to act for us, or will it get walled off and protected by its original gatekeepers? The outcome is still completely unwritten.